point. That is everything they need to know. That is the world. That is life. That is the universe. It'll do. It'll do nicely. As you'll see, there's a new tab over here hanging out in this beautiful little expanse. No, not the show The Expanse. That's also beautiful. But the Armored Core 6 tab group. You'll see there's another tab there. I want you to pay mind to this beautiful thing. Let's get good from some dude playing this game 2 years ago. Or let's think we're getting good while we listen to a man talk in a way that blends in
under this bridge in chapter
really well with Gregorian chant.
Did you have trouble crossing under this bridge in chapter 2? Well, here's a trick that allows any build to get across. Kick spamming. This technique is useful in so many situations. I think this is by far the most energy efficient way to cover distance in Armored Core 6. It can save you if you're about to fall off a stage. It can get you across vast distances. It can get you higher than you'd otherwise be able to go. So definitely consider this, especially if you're equipped with tank treads. I think their kick gets you the furthest. Speaking of kicks, you might have noticed that
would
kicks
feel about
don't
right.
just do impact damage, they deal direct
I do want to build a
damage
quickie
as well. And while you might think that leg type would play a part in direct damage or impact dealt, it doesn't. However, the direct damage of your kick is affected by something. It's affected by the weight of your AC. For example, this is a kick with a lightweight AC, and here's a kick with the heaviest tank I could make.
Bro!
What's also interesting is that kicks do roughly 3 times as much damage to enemies when they're staggered, which is a much bigger multiplier than most other weapons.
Well, it even says you're supposed to do direct damage to them when they're staggered. And that's why, some things are incentivizable, like doing impact damage with the shoulder thingies, or kicking them, or hitting them with a sword, or all of the above. If you can work in all of these things, and I think kicking might be the way to go. You know? Yeah, it's bigger than most other melee weapons have combined. So that kind of just rules in, what melee weapon you want to fuck with. Do you want to play Armored Core, and then Elden Ring?
Combine this with the fact that you can spam kicks pretty fast, this can be a really lethal tool, especially if you have nothing else to do while reloading. And on some enemies like tetrapod MTs, you can extend the duration of their stagger if you kick them during this state. So if you haven't worked kicks into your playstyle yet, absolutely do that. But let's be honest, more important than anything else in this video is your fashion, your armor decor, so to speak. And one key part of your fashion is your booster.
Oh my gosh, that is a fucking LG mech.
Color. Because did you notice that booster color isn't determined by the booster part? Instead, it's actually determined by your generator. For example, this generator gives me a blue booster, which actually turns my gold AC like an ugly green. This one gives a nice default orange, which is better. But this coral generator gives me this awesome red color. And even though it has a recharge delay of 5 seconds, I'm still going to use it.
Yeah, same.
Speaking of fashion though, this is my LG Corporation AC. And I made this because...
Hold on.
...generator gives me this awesome red color. And even though it has a recharge delay of 5 seconds, I'm still going to use it. Speaking of...
it is half the weight. I just cake the bigger one because I'm a shithead sometimes.
Fashion though, this...
I really shouldn't just take it because
LG Corporation AC. And I made this because LG are actually our corporate sponsor for this video. So I wanted to do a video with LG because uniquely among From Software games, Armored Core 6 actually has amazing widescreen support. So LG sent over one of their ultra-wides for me to show you guys, and I was absolutely blown away. This, I think, is unironically the best way to play Armored Core, in my opinion.
I don't have an ultra-wide, never would have thought of it.
Just makes this game so immersive, and having a wide field of view is legitimately incredible for your situational awareness, because you can see all of the enemies around you.
And the HUD is nicely offset.
So
does it have a setting to maintain it?
This is the LG Ultra Gear OLED 45GR95QE. Sounds like it could be a part in-game. It's a 45-inch 21 by 9 display with a clean, really borderless design and also a crazy fast 0.03 millisecond response time, which makes it perfect for gaming. They're also touting this as the world's first 240
not the
Hz
screen. I
OLED
like
gaming monitor.
the screen's whatever.
If you're interested
I like the
in
offset
in one for
bullshit
yourself,
a lot.
check
I
out
like the
link
offset
in the
bullshit a
description.
lot, nature of the HUD a lot, and I like the
sponsoring this
mech's
video.
color a lot.
Number 5.
The screen
If you
is
ever run
big
out of
whatever.
energy in the air, you are extremely vulnerable. You can't dodge or fly. All you can do is fall. But did you know that falling directly down is actually the best thing you can do in this situation a lot of the time? When you push forward on the left analog stick, as long as your boosters are toggled on, you'll still float somewhat horizontally, even when you're completely out of energy. Note our speed while we're doing this. However, if you let go of the left stick completely, your boosters will deactivate and you'll enter free fall mode. In this state, you'll fall a lot faster, even though it says your boosters are still on. Just look at the speed difference. Therefore, free falling straight down can actually make you way more avoidant of projectiles coming your way, especially if you're falling perpendicular to the shot that's coming your way. So consider doing this as a last resort next time you run out of energy in the air. Number 6. So target assist can be great. It gives you unparalleled focus on single enemies and it makes it way easier for you to focus on dodging and flying, but it's actually not the optimal way to play. That's because when you toggle on target assist, your tracking strength is actually compromised and less of your shots will find their mark as a result.
Oh my gosh.
This is absolutely something you can feel in the gameplay, and you might have even noticed how much more your reticle lags behind when you're locked on in this way. But the question is, how bad is this effect? How much is your tracking strength compromised when using target assist?
Oh, holy shit.
Let's try to figure it out.
You've got to be fucking...
There are a lot of variables that make this really hard to test in a vacuum. We have to ensure that our enemy is moving in pretty much the exact same way, at the exact same speed, at the exact same distance,
Yet you found
with
it
target assist toggled on and then
tarnished.
off. So I came up with this, the jump test. With this, distance and movement become controlled variables, and we can really try to narrow down the difference in accuracy with target assist toggled on and off. Here's what I found. So at 50 meters, with target assist off, 0.018% of my shots missed, compared to 12% of my shots missing with target assist. At 100 meters, with target assist off, 27% of my shots missed, compared to 47% with target assist. And at 150 meters with target assist off, it was 44%, compared to 61% with target assist. And then at 200 meters, 55% of my shots missed without it, and 74% missed with target assist. So just at a glance from that data, target assist is clearly having a big impact here. In many cases, almost twice as many of my shots missed while using target assist. Now, admittedly, I didn't get like a huge sample size here, and I only tested this with one weapon, so I'd really like to invite someone better than me to perform the jumper test more thoroughly. If I find someone who does a really good experiment online, I'll pin their results in the comments section below. But for now, I think it's safe to say that you really should be trying to learn to play without target assist if you can, especially if your enemy is small and agile. For number 7, let's talk about these gaps. So often, advice I give when building an AC is to try and stay as close to your maximum loads as possible. This will ensure that you're packing on the most value that your legs and generator can support. That said, there are benefits to leaving gaps here that you might not know about. In regards to your maximum load, a larger gap will contribute towards your boost speed. So notice how my boost speed becomes faster when I just unequip my weapons. That's because leftover load contributes to your speed. You can even achieve this boost to your speed by purging weapons during a mission. What's interesting is that a similar logic applies to your EN load as well. The larger the gap, the faster your energy bar will recharge. That's because leftover EN output contributes towards your supply efficiency.
And that weapon might be the biggest
higher this value, the faster your energy bar will move after the recharge delay.
Like, if you think the cool coral weapon's worth its time in space and salt, then I'm sure, okay, but
Just look at
hear
this
me
difference. Now, it's really cool that the game rewards your excess like this.
Okay, but hear me out, right? So... Oh, wait.
But I will say, in my experience, the benefits of having a large...
No, it's too much on my mind. Okay, it's early game. It's got a really big area of effect. It's early game in contrast to getting all the combat logs to get the coral oscillator melee one that's a sword thingy that has a nice projection distance. And it covers a large amount of space. So for a thing that covers a large amount of space, it's quite easy to use, doesn't cost as much weight or electricity. It seems like a good, pretty nice option. I'm pretty sure it doesn't cost as much. I was going to do anything other than this game.
Still don't really outweigh the benefits of just stacking on better parts instead.
You want to play Elden?
For example, like, your energy is coming back fast either way, you know? But it's a nice thing to have, for sure. Another thing that's really nice to have is the Hangar Bay upgrade in your OS tuning screen. This allows you to store 2 more arm parts on your back. Note, however, that you can't fire these weapons when they're stored in the hangar. Instead, L1 and R1 will just switch to these weapons for your arms instead. And when you first think about it, that seems kind of bad, right? After all, wouldn't you just want to fire 4 weapons at once? Isn't that more DPS than just 2? However, consider this. Weapons that overheat can cool down in the hangar. Weapons can even reload while they're in the hangar. So just think about how good that is.
Okay, I didn't know they could reload.
With this technique, you can offset the downside of some of the strongest weapons in the game. Fire your chain guns to overheat and then switch to shotguns while they cool down in the hangar. Break guards with the Parl Bunker melee weapon, then pull out a sword to capitalize on that while it cools down.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know I could switch
machine
those.
guns
I'm
and
such
switch
an
them out whenever
absolute
you need to
fucking
reload. This way, your DPS is...
I've been a very big shield person, so I never considered it, but it's not been like the most worthwhile thing all the time. And yeah, oh my gosh. Because anything with dagger, in this case, the coral oscillator does have a nice ranged component. And the dagger is so good when I get close, so I can knock them askew with the oscillator, go kick them, and then go dagger them to the face. I didn't even consider this. I've been using a shield. Like some kind of wuss. Fuck the shield. I'm gonna dodge people. The fucking boy Vati doing it from the past. What a champion. What an absolute fucking champion. What a living fucking legend. What a fucking absolute fucking goofball of a goober. How
absolutely unrelenting, and I unironically think, after testing a lot of this stuff, that hangar builds will end up being some of the strongest builds in the game. Anyway, speaking of OS upgrades, do you regret any of the OS upgrades you've invested in?
No.
Well, don't worry, because by pressing triangle or Y in this menu, you can undo each upgrade you've purchased for 4,000 credits. One reason I redid my points is because I realized that the most efficient way to invest your points is actually to invest in the lowest tier of many upgrades, rather than going deep into just one. That's because the lowest tiers are the cheapest, so it's kind of best to buy all the low tiers first.
The low tier god.
This next trick is particularly good when you're fighting an enemy AC, though I'll admit it's a pretty high skill cap thing to do, and that's melee cancelling. So
I've heard about
Quick Boost right at the end of your melee boost, you're able to cancel your melee boost and immediately initiate it again, creating a loop where you're constantly moving, closing in on and threatening the enemy AC without even overheating your weapon. This is particularly good if you've chosen a booster that has a really good melee attack thrust and a melee attack EN consumption spec, as these can enable you to close the gap between enemies more effectively than even an assault boost could. It also looks cool as hell. That's kind of the main reason to do this, honestly. But the coolest thing you can do in Armored Core is S-ranking missions. According to the game, to achieve an S-rank rating, you must complete the mission without retrying from a checkpoint, while also minimizing incoming damage, time taken, and ammunition consumed. In practice though, it's actually not that simple. For example, in the mission Destroy the Transport Helicopters, I finished the objectives extremely fast without taking a point of damage and only got an A rank. To achieve an S rank, I realized it helped a lot to actually kill some enemies as well. The game doesn't tell you that you need to kill enemies, but that is important, apparently. And then for certain missions, it seems like the S rank criteria are weighted differently. For example, in a Chapter 2 mission, I destroyed the smart cleaner very quickly, but I used dual Gatling guns to do it. And even though I didn't die, I achieved a really low rank for some reason. For this mission, it seems ammunition cost counted against me greatly. And then there was this mission, where I took a ton of damage and I was sure that I did terribly, and then I got an S rank. Turns out this mission has an extremely high tolerance for the damage you take. So my takeaway from all of this is that while it's certainly possible to S rank by focusing on just doing one thing well, there are missions where it feels like some things matter more than most. So definitely try and switch up your build and strategy if you're not having much success. Build for speed or kills or low ammunition cost or low damage taken, and see how you go prioritizing different things. But what's the reward for S ranking every mission in the game, you ask? Well, it makes you feel good. According to my reviewer guide, you get a trophy and an achievement, and that's it. Which I'll admit is a little bit disappointing. I wish there was some incentive, but I guess it's more about the journey.
Another layer of shiny.
One of the metrics for S ranking missions is, again, not being wasteful with your ammunition. So you might think that reloading manually and just throwing away the entire rest of the magazine would be wasteful, right? Wrong, because video game laws are in effect here, and when you reload in Armored Core 6, your magazine will magically fill with the exact amount of ammunition you need, despite that kind of being physically impossible.
Otherwise.
That means that you only really need to worry about the ammunition that you fire in a mission, and nothing more. Being wasteful is a pretty fast way to rack up some debt in Armored Core 6, though admittedly incurring debt is quite rare. Even if you're firing the most expensive weaponry, this is the most debt I could get when I tried, for example. I just quickly wanted to confirm that, yeah, it is possible to go negative in a mission and lose money, though no matter how much you waste or lose, it's impossible to actually go negative in terms of your total funds in the garage. Speaking of firing ammunition, there are many situations where you might want to consider staggering your fire rather than unloading all at once. For example, when fighting a fast opponent like an enemy AC, it's very likely that they'll dodge your attacks, especially your missiles. So, for example, if you unload 2 sets of missiles at them at once, they can just easily negate both of those salvos with one dodge. Instead, what you should do is fire one after the other with a short delay. This way, you're far more likely to catch them during or after a dodge with at least one set of missiles. The same applies to weapons with a slow firing rate. Take dual shotguns, for example. If I fire both at once, they're both liable to miss. But if I fire one after the other, even if I miss one, the second is far more likely to connect. Spacing out your shots also makes it less likely that enemies will get a chance to recover their ACS buildup, which is what can happen if they go too long without taking damage. Next, I believe that there are just 2 status effects in Armored Core 6, ACS Anomaly and Electrical Discharge. However, the game doesn't really explain what these are, so I'll try. ACS Anomaly is built up over time with fire-based attacks. When the bar fills completely, you'll receive this warning, which lasts for about 10 seconds. During this time, the impact damage you receive is significantly increased. Compare this, for example, to this. And while we're looking at the stagger gauge, it's important to note that the middle bar is easier to fill up than the outer bars. Essentially, it seems like this middle section counts as 1 bar, and filling the outer 2 bars takes twice as long. There are 2 bars on the outside, after all. So effectively, it seems like ACS Anomaly increases the impact damage you take by about 50% for 10 seconds, which makes it really quite an impactful status effect. The other status effect in AC6 is the shock status effect, which I figured out is essentially bleed from other FromSoft games. Basically, what happens is when you take electrical damage, your elec discharge bar will fill, doing a burst of damage once at the end when the bar is completely filled. What's interesting about this shock effect in this game, though, is that it's actually not percentage-based damage, unlike bleed from previous games. Regardless of your AP, this effect seems to do a flat 1600 damage, meaning shock will kind of naturally be better against lightweight ACs rather than heavy ones. Of course, you can build up status effects on other enemies as well, even non-AC enemies like MTs, though it's worth noting that clearly some enemies have more resistance than others, and some bosses effectively seem immune to status effects entirely. Now, there kind of is a third status effect, although it's strictly not one as well. It's the smoke bomb, which has an effect that creates a little bubble.
I made a time to play with it.
Zone, and while you're inside this zone, you can't lock onto enemies outside it, and they can't lock onto you if you're inside it either. However, if you're both inside the zone, then you can lock onto each other. And if this smoke is in between both of you, it actually acts like a piece of terrain would. It blocks you from locking onto the enemy at a distance as well, essentially. This is really cool, but as its description states, it's going to take a lot of finesse to effectively use this in combat. If there are more status effects in the game I haven't listed, I apologize. I'm playing through the game really thoroughly, but I'm playing
it's
through
a free
really
wall.
slowly as well. I've only just finished chapter 3, so it's possible that there's more that I'm missing. Number 16, cancelling. This is only mentioned very briefly in training, so remember, pressing triangle or Y will allow you to cancel certain actions. For example, if you're charging a weapon and no longer want to charge it, just press triangle or Y. And if you've started a multi-lock that you regret, you can also press triangle or Y to revert to a single lock. Now, I'm kind of shocked that this next tip isn't in the official tutorial, and that's that in most situations it's not optimal to cancel your assault boost by pulling back on the left stick like the tutorial tells you to do. Doing this actually brings you to an abrupt halt, which can easily get you killed. Instead, by pushing forward on the left stick and just tapping the ascend button, you're able to cancel your assault boost and maintain your forward momentum, which is just objectively better.
Oh my gosh.
Number 18.
That's so much.
So unlike in other FromSoft games, you can't actually load multiple saves in the main menu. You can only have one playthrough active at any time, so be careful of that new game button this time around, since it will overwrite your current save. I can kind of see why they made it this way. The game is designed around replaying missions and going into New Game Plus, after all. One thing that oddly does seem to persist if you start a new game is your AC data from your previous save. If you didn't know, in this menu you can quickly build your old saved AC designs, though of course you still need their parts. I'd also quickly like to mention that you can upload your AC designs in this menu as well. This will give you a code to share with others who might want to create your AC. Here's the code for my LG AC, though this doesn't seem to work cross-platform. The same goes for emblem designs.
PC only.
While you're in the garage, one thing not many people realize you can do is enter photo mode while you're here. Here, you can fly your camera around quite far and explore the little container that you're a stowaway within. And of course, the same photo mode can be activated while you're out on a mission during the pause menu. Another small thing, but there are situations where you really should use the compass and the radar that's built into it. In this mission, for example, it's important for me to head towards enemies as soon as they appear, and my radar is the best way of doing that. What's more, lots of information shows up down here, like target objectives and more. These little arrows, for example, also indicate if an enemy is above or below you in that direction. If you're on your first attempt, or don't care at all about S-ranking a mission, consider simply restarting from checkpoints as soon as you notice that you've reached one. For example, here I've taken so much damage that there's just no way I'm going to beat Sula in this upcoming fight. It would be a waste of my time. Instead, as soon as I notice this indicator in the bottom right, I can just manually start from the checkpoint and fully restore my AP and my repair kits. For number 22, remember that your standard repair kit heals a flat 4000 AP. So
I wanted to play
healing,
Dark Souls again.
Try to make sure that you've taken 4000 damage.
I don't know if I get my save at the moment.
And when building an AC, consider that you functionally have 12,000 more AP than what it's showing you on screen. So when you think about your functional AP and keep healing in mind, the difference between a heavyweight AC with a lot of AP and a lightweight AC with not much AP, the difference between them gets smaller when you take into account that both builds have 12,000 AP on top of what they already have. That said, repair kits aren't a thing in the arena, so I think that heavy ACs really will benefit from their raw AP and defensive stats a lot more there. Just one extra thing, when you fall off the map in Armored Core 6, you don't take a flat AP punishment. Instead,
also
falling
light
off the
and
map
fast
will
is
take
really,
35%
again, a good answer
of
to
your
that.
total AP. Let's talk about some of the
And
lesser
built for
used
distance.
OS tuning upgrades. One of the worst kind of has to be access speed optimization, which increases your interaction speed by 50% and then 100%. This can be useful, but it's extremely situational. For example, some missions might have you hack something while you're in firing range. It's pretty good then.
All of these.
So I definitely consider this upgrade to be great for S ranking certain missions, but other than that, I'd rank it as a pretty low priority.
You can easily buy
One little
all
secret
of them.
you might have missed with this though is that objects have different scan levels associated with them. I've found 3 scan levels so far, and the higher that their S.LV is, the longer they will take to access. Another arguably less important OS tuning upgrade is the Quick Turn, which, when unlocked, allows you to do a 90-degree
I finally
or
woke
a
up to how good this is.
180-degree
It took me so long.
and the camera by holding circle or B and turning your left stick in the design.
It's not the thing that I thought it was. No, it's faster. Oh, it is, it really fucking is. And I have been doing it, just inconsistently, and now that I'm aware of how epic this is, I now try to do it, and it's so fucking cool.
Direction. In any other Armored Core game, this would be incredible, but in Armored Core 6, it's kind of just alright. The best thing about it is that it moves your camera faster than you can, even with camera speed set to 10, though those playing with mouse and keyboard actually won't have this problem at all. It's worth unlocking this if you play with a controller, and if you play without target assist, but I feel like most players can confidently give this one a miss. Another very niche OS upgrade is weight control, which lets you enter missions overweight and manually purge your weapons. Being
I used that on our big old tank.
Over your weight limit seems to penalize your speed in a similar way to how being under your weight limit rewards your speed. So going into a mission overweight really isn't the worst thing in the world. The best use case I could think of for this would be when you use it in tandem with its manual purge function. This way you could enter a mission with heavy weaponry, you could use up those weapons, and then you could purge them if you no longer have a use for them. So the best use case I could think of for that was to bring in heavy snipers, use them at a safe range where your lack of speed doesn't really matter, then purge them and get in close with your faster AC. What's also cool is that you'll get these weapons back after you've purged them at a resupply station.
Yep, or at a checkpoint.
You will be able to have
Right?
them back for difficult boss encounters at the end of the mission. And if you do go with this purging strategy, consider choosing an arm part with a high melee specialization stat. This will
Which I kind of failed at, and I should have better looked for.
increase the damage of your punches. But so far for me, I haven't really been able to build around weight control in a meaningful way. Maybe later in the game, I'll unlock some parts that make that viable, so I'm curious if you guys have any ideas
for the
that.
win.
But that's it. Before I go, again, think about investing in an ultra-wide monitor for your setup. It's
Okay,
so
I thought
good.
about it.
Links in the description. Thanks again to LG for
Nah, I'ma do
sponsoring
my
this
thing.
video. Forget Balaam, forget Archibus.
Thanks for
Thank you,
helping the boy, LG.
And I'll see you all next time.
Okay, that was genuinely fun and totally worth it. And you can't stop me. You really can't stop me. Oh my gosh, we're not gonna watch the whole thing.
Coral is an organic substance capable of self-propagation. The speed at which it proliferates is determined by the density of the colony. As such, a vacuum would provide an ideal environment to maximize coral density. However, one must not overlook the signs of mutation within the coral brought about by this density effect. It is mutations such as these that will bring about a collapse that humanity has no hope of controlling. Assistant number 1, has lost his mind. His research has utterly consumed him. Granted, there may be some logic to sepal sensory augmentation on
We're clashing. I'm sorry.
human subjects, but no ethical scholar would ever dare cross that point of no return. Mankind is driven mad by possibilities. What does Coral represent, if not sheer potential? I've decided that Assistant Number 1's son is to remain at the lab. He's a reticent one, tough too, beyond his years. And now, our research has robbed him of his mother and driven his father mad. He has every right to hate me. Perhaps Assistant Number 2 will be able to help. She does seem to have a knack for assembling toys. I hope that at least she can give him something to smile about. No. The coral tide is rising at an abnormal rate. This resonance, it suggests some kind of mutation. Run the calculations. How much time do we have? 47 hours, 2 minutes, 16 seconds. We still have time. Deploy IBIS. There is no averting the ruin that awaits both the Institute and Rubicon itself. I must now concern myself with what follows. The data show signs of wave mutation. Observation must continue. Assistant Number 2 is our only remaining hope. Though it pains me, I have no choice but to pass the legacy of our sins onto her. My own student. 12 minutes remain. I have done all that I must. I alone shall bear the burden of watching the fires of Ibis burn. Whatever future awaits the boy, I hope he grows into a man strong enough to seize it. I have friends in the Jupiter colonies. Surely they will look after him.
Bruh.
So what you just heard were the leftover voice logs of Professor Nagai, who was the head of the Rubicon Research Institute, which brought about the fires of Ibis. So much lore is easily missed in Armored Core 6, and in this video we'll go over every data log, every secret, and every ending, with...
Okay, we're not doing this at the moment. I'm just like seeing what amazing stuff is ahead of us at some fucking point. Yo. Okay, hold on. This is the one we just did.
in a previous mission, and EDSA dead
Oh my gosh, I needed this
at the
clarity.
helm.
You killed me, but not just once. Well, there's a whole lot of us inside of me now. Dregs with a grudge. So tell me, who else are you going to kill?
As for how All-Mind can integrate someone's brainwaves, well, this is actually nothing new to All-Mind. Her laser orbit part even reveals that it was developed by All-Mind's neuroengineering division. The dark implication being that this weapon uses a real or replicated nervous system to identify targets. In Phase 1, Air is busy retrieving an ephemera AC from the Institute, which she eventually brings to the fight. And as for Iguazu, he's currently piloting Mind Gamma.
Oh, and I think the second to last battle in the sim, I believe, that's the one where they make a remark about the same AC, like, hey, I can pilot this. This weapon is so sick.
One of All-Mind's AC integration subjects you would have fought in the arena. But in Phase 2, a new machine is brought in, one that can make better use of Iguazu's hatred.
Iguazu, this body won't last.
Guess it's time.
You are aberrations to the plan.
Irregulars. We will bring order to chaos.
You might have noticed that this craft is similar to the one that Air pilots against you in the Fires of Raven timeline, and you'd be right. That was IB-07 Sol 644. It was an Ibis series craft, powered and controlled by Coral, and in cut dialogue, Air explains why Allmind's craft here looks similar to that.
Raven, that's an emulation of the Ibis series, but it's powered by...
When integrated in an aggravated state, human brainwaves function much the same as coral.
The implication here, I think, is that instead of being simply powered by coral, like Sol, this craft emulates that effect with aggravated human brainwaves, making Iguazu the perfect psyche to channel, as he's always on tilt, especially against you.
Iguazu's hatred is resonating with the coral. It's powerful. But you've never stopped feeling this pressure.
Air can feel this resonance when she joins in Phase 2, because it's in this phase that Iguazu notices her for the first time and realizes that it was his proximity to air that was causing the ringing.
How do I
the
get those
voices,
weapons?
the pain and paranoia in his head.
I don't think I
I'm
have
with you,
yet,
Raven.
actually.
Now,
Oh wait,
I
no,
can fight
is
by
that
your
ours?
side.
No, it's not. The fuck is that
I'll
shit?
support you, Raven.
That damn noise. It was you all along. I'll
Fix
kill
them,
you and the
homie.
freelancer.
It makes sense that
I
Allmind has no
guess.
problem killing you. As you learn from death dialogue,
I did think that
previous
would be an
missions,
optimal weapon for
air
this.
lives on after your death, and Allmind only really needs air. All that said, even if you're dead, Allmind seems confident that she can integrate you and your wave mutation and trigger coral release.
C4621, Raven. C-pulse wave mutation, air. You are the trigger for coral release. We will make you one with us. Air, your siblings will surely welcome us.
I don't think Allmind just wants coral release for its own sake.
Oh.
If she did,
No,
then
Allmind gets an integration of coral, human, and AI with this in ubiquitous distribution throughout the whole fucking universe. Like, no, there is a reason to want this. Like that, you want to talk about fucking forcing equality? That's a way to do it.
and she would be content to
way
simply
to
let
try.
Air and Raven initiate it by themselves. No, she wants coral release with her at the helm. She wants to be the entity that is spread throughout the universe. It's this hubris that led to this arguably unnecessary fight, and it's here that she makes a crucial misstep.
Iguazu, you are one with Allmind. No one can stop you now.
I said I don't care about Allmind. You want some of this, I'll give it to you.
Iguazu doesn't want to
How
be
are those
unstoppable.
shoulder-mounted?
He doesn't want Allmind.
Oh, they're
he
just
just wants
brutal.
the freelancer dead. Allmind does not understand this, or at least she overlooks it. And that makes a lot of sense because Allmind is this entity that focuses on everything at such a system level. She thinks so little of the human links in a chain, as she mentions in a previous mission. And I find it so poetic that it's this petty, irregular human called Iguazu that eventually undoes her entire operation. His sheer hatred resonating with the coral, shutting out all mind and air.
Shut up! I'll shut you all up!
It's resonating.
Iguazu, what are you?
Interference. I'm losing sync. I can't fight anymore.
They're gone. The ringing, the stupid voices. It's all clear now. I feel good. Now, it's just you and me.
I wish we could have gotten those
a mistake,
weapons.
Iguazu. Irregular.
In every mission with Iguazu, you either one-up him or defeat him. From 621's perspective, this was probably never done out of spite, but that's not how Iguazu saw it.
Right?
With an excruciating ringing in his ears, all he saw was a better pilot silently laughing at him. And in the end, he admits the truth.
I always envied you.
The last words you'll get to hear are usually the most true ones.
Include it all.
Our plan. Humanity. Creation's
one.
potential.
Good job.
A core all-mind motivation is revealed here. She wants to see humanity through to its full potential, no matter the cost. We are creation's potential, something Air herself echoes in dialogue as well. Air states that humanity assumed its current form to fight itself, to choose from infinite selections. That is the essence of the human race, and the key to biological evolution.
We have the trigger. And we'll pull it ourselves. It's beginning. Coral release. Isn't it beautiful?
First,
It's
the collapse,
everything.
and then the release.
Because coral gets into a dense enough place that it can make a lot more of it too. It's great. Coral wants to be together in a dense place,
Thank you,
so it can make
Raven.
more coral. And as a result, it
In
can
this
spread
moment,
more coral.
Raven and Air experience even deeper symbiosis, and they are themselves spread, present in the coral that's now been projected across the universe.
In that environment, even the coral mutation can just boop and it should be fine. There's just so much more of
Raven,
it.
you're finally awake.
Like, it's not gonna have the downside that the humans are scared of.
Disseminated us across the stars.
A brief destruction.
Now, we're everywhere. Anywhere.
This makes the whole PvP section of the game
I
make more sense
assume
too.
these ACs
It
here
feels good.
are what remains of some old, faraway war, able to be controlled by whatever we are now.
I didn't think of it that way. That's brilliant. I like it.
Raven. Let's meet this new age. Together.
What we don't
so
see
cute.
here is how this Raven Air Coral release affects humanity. Dolmayan's right.
Yeah, because does it like integrate them entirely? Because I'd think that it integrates it entirely, but it might be a subversion of the current state of humanity with a new humanity.
Writings made it clear that he believed
it
coral
is.
release would be a tragedy for all mankind. V3 O'Keefe suggests that
Ooh, it
humanity
is.
would be lost in this process, and O'Keefe might not have just been talking
Maybe.
about himself. So, are all human minds now experiencing contact from this coral surge? If so, is this contact affecting everyone in the same way? Are all minds receptive to it? Or do you have to be an augmented human for that? Or is contact with humanity still a state that needs to be worked towards? We don't know. And I think that's intentional. In O'Keefe's words, we are chasing a possibility we cannot possibly understand. And that's kind of what's terrifying about coral release. The unknown. It's very Lovecraftian in that way. It's very eldritch. The name of this ending in Latin is Alia iacta est. It translates to the die is cast, as in the dice has been thrown. The result, what it will land on, is unknown. In an excellent video by Ratataska on this ending, he brings up that the Latin name of this ending refers to the moment where Julius Caesar led his army across the Rubicon River in northern Italy. For Caesar, the Rubicon was the point of no return, and indeed, this moment inspired another phrase called crossing the Rubicon, which means passing a point of no return. Excellent video, check it out. So we, humanity, air, the coral, it has crossed the Rubicon. The die is cast, as Dolmayan feared, and whatever the future...
So when you have, like... Okay, so hold on. We've already been told, oh no, these weapons use coral for fuel, that's bad. So it's a self-replicating, like, fuel source, right? Okay. So now coral is controlling coral, and this other coral is subsetted off to be used for a weapon. So is it it feels way too much like the fucking quantum locks on the fucking random AI in Stellar Blade that keep them from like having too much of a brain. So they can have random robots that don't think, but then sometimes the quantum locks do break. And you find out, yes, they are thinking the whole time.
Future holds, there's no going back. But this is Armored Core, after all, and with every new age...
Main system.
They're just not allowed to have their thoughts.
Activating combat mode.
...comes war.
So there's already like a caste system in Stellar Blade of like the AI that gets to go be a full android and the AI that now gets to like be limited though it has the same capability. It's like really fucking funny. Because this happens like on the surface of the planet with like the cute little like dung beetle dude. We need to finish Stellar Blade new game stuff. There's an achievement for beating the game twice. I don't have that. What game should we play? Hey, I don't know what to do. I think that's what we should do. I think it's what to do. May as well go back to our Android game that got us stuck on Android games, right? That sounds like it's reasonable. Because, like, the other Android games are dope. That's great. Right on. Owie. But, like... Oh, well. Oh, fucking well. Do 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 do. I made a group called Platformers for us, and I barely populated it. But oh well. Do 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 do. There's stuff to get. And I kind of want to play Elden later, and so I figure like I may as well like go try to get back into the how to play, even if I don't go far, of this as well. I closed the AC6 tab group. Oh, almost. I can not close it. I can hide it. I can move it. There's stuff I have to do later, so I can't like get rid of it entirely. Dear iDubbbz, we are not holding back anymore. Oh, we're gonna wait till it's uploaded. It can go to my watch later. I don't care. Something insane happens today. Why is that horrifying? What do you want? Maybe on private networks. It's not like this thing moves. It's just, IRL streamer flees the country after snitching on himself. This seems like the way to go. This is a maybe. That sounds horrifying. It's this trying to use this. This should have some degree of it can fuck around and find out, I believe. We're gonna find out if I regret that soon. A lawyer who tips if a cop says they smell weed. Lol. Why would you smell weed? Lab muffin beauty science. Yes. I love Lab Muffin Beauty Science's content. What the fuck? Hell yes. YouTube hasn't recommended them in ages. Ages. Fucking ages. Oh my gosh. That is amazing. In every state of the word, that is amazing. Doesn't... Oh. Oh no. Don't remind me. Yep, it... There's like a litany of random shit that we put inside ourselves that just like... Anesthesia's out. Okay, cool. This is a later thing. Because why not learn about the furry fetish that I have never heard about, zoomorphs? What the fuck? I remember hearing about zoomorphs somewhere. Okay, you have some peace before that. It starts here. You have some peace before I dig into zoomorph bullshit. You're lucky that I can't have my popcorn.
Fleeing to
No,
America.
you're not.
From Toronto with $6 to his name after clips of him being
I'm about to rectify this very soon.
awful to his dog on stream went viral, leading to him being doxxed and exposed. Now,
Later.
he's living out of hotels, off of subscriptions and donations while live streaming himself, essentially ruining his own life.
Monkey business day.
You're definitely doing good.
Giving the subs a high IQ and base speed.
Someone give me $20 Canadian to buy Tinder Platinum, bro. Someone PayPal me $20 Canadian to get me Tinder Platinum, bro. Someone, I need Tinder Platinum. Damn, please. Look.
Why do you need Tinder Platinum for? Look at how you just moved your little hand. You're good.
Tinder Platinum, bro. Someone, I need Tinder Platinum. Damn, please. Look.
Yeah, you got this.
I feel like the
believe
only
in you.
way things can get more pathetic than that if he begged for money to sub to OF girls. But this dude almost exclusively streams himself doing impressively stupid and awful stuff. I guess his only problem is this is just the first time it's gotten him enough attention to where he's essentially been blasted online and actually got the police involved. So
Nice.
It's safe to say he couldn't handle the heat because he hasn't been home since then.
There's only two choices. Stay here, get an apartment, pay my rent, and go back to Toronto, and then come back after I get shit figured out. There's two options. Stay here, try to find an apartment.
They
Crazy.
hear me. They hear me being a shithead. They hatin'. Trying to catch me being a shithead.
Pay my rent, go back to
dirty.
Toronto.
Trying to catch me being a shithead dirty. Trying to
Even
catch
though
me
there's
being a
nothing for me back there.
shithead dirty.
Like, there's literally nothing
That's wisest to
for me in
do.
Canada. Like, there's nothing.
But let me introduce you guys to Lil Dealy, a scummy kick streamer who recently started getting attention online after someone uploaded a compilation of him hitting his dog and threatening his own life.
His own look. Boom, boom. Sure, buddy. I'm a piece of shit. Oh, that spares me this. Oh, that's nice. I do like that it has a mode for handhelds. It's super cool. I think that's like the best feature of any game ever, and it's amazing, and you should pay respect to the king, my dude. That's how good it is.
To Reddit. And
Call
this
it
is
king
what
and
this guy
respect it.
claims he came up off of.
So that's my thing. My thing is punching the phone. That's, you know, you have your thing that make you different from everyone else. Me is crashing it, punching my phone, spitting on my phone. This is my thing. This is my thing to stand out. That's my thing. Anyone try to steal that? I started that. I started punching the phone. I'm the one that started spitting on the phone. I started that. That's my thing. That's my thing.
Yeah, this unique individual invented hitting his phone and spitting on his phone. Okay. I can't believe this guy's real. Also, his Canadian accent is insane. And while researching this video, I was even on call with a bunch of Canadian friends of mine, and they even gave us permission to laugh at it due to how insane his accent was. But on October 15th, a Reddit user named ChemicalAD6151 warned people of Lil Dealy's awful behavior towards his yellow lab, Peaches. These horrifying scenes included clips of him kicking his dog's metal crate with her inside,
Hold on, the music in this game goes so hard, doesn't it? Does it not? I just want to check this really fast, I forgot. No one likes what this person's doing. We do have the near type fucking mod for our fucking robot friend, our little drone friends. That was back, so purple's towards. Got it. Oops, I did it wrong. I did backwards. I should have done forward, I guess? Don't know. To answer my question, the music goes super hard. I forgot how to do things. Oh, I think yellow's unavoidable. Nope. How do I do this again? Oh my gosh, I did it once. What the fuck did I do? This is like the first boss you fight, by the way. We're just doing it in hard mode, which is no excuse for how bad I am. I forgot. There we go. Bad. Lame. Okay, I was forgetting how to do this. Okay, I think yellow glowy is unblockable again. No, I don't think that anymore. I don't know. No, that's lightning-based attack in general. That's different than just yellow blocky being whatever words I said. That was bad. Run it again? This time with less shit? Because I'm pretty sure my better times were way better. Yeah, no. Not that I really care about getting good times here. I'm not like, you know, effort farming good times. Yet.
Adam, get back!
Okay, blue is back. Okay. That's not what I'm looking for. Beta. That's not what I'm looking for. Survival. Game makes so much sense. Hold on. There's this thing that is so easy to do. And it just requires I do one thing. There we go. Okay, there we go. There we go. Oh, I don't have the thingy. Don't have enough charge for it. Wait, is that... Does the health bar not move anymore? Oh god, that's not a lot. Well, fuck. You can attack through so much stuff. Oh, also, here. Here you go, sorry. That took very long. Oh wait, no, that was my PB. Oh shit, okay, cool. That's not a good PB. It's a very bad PB. Oh well. Let's go just collect